Hey kiddos, it's Mrs. McDaniel. This is day 5 of week 8, and we are going to look at number 7. Number 7 says, which is a cylinder? If you think back to second grade especially, we talked about cylinders a lot. Cylinders are three-dimensional shapes, and they have two faces. And a real life example would be a soup can. So if we look at each one of these shapes, A does not look like a soup can. B does not look like a soup can. C has two faces, the top and the bottom, and it does look like a soup can. So our correct answer would be C. So number 7 should be C is our cylinder. Now let's look at number 8. Number 8 says the teacher had 100 pencils. She gave each student 2 pencils. She has 18 students. How many pencils does she have left? So we want to use cups. We want to circle our question. How many pencils does she have left? We want to circle our essential numbers, 100. Here is the number word 2 and 18. And we need to think about our label, find the words how many, and we're talking about pencils. So for the first part of this, to help me understand my operation, I'm going to draw a picture. So I have 18 students, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And she gave each student 2 pencils. So 2 pencils for you. And she gave each student 2 pencils. So I'll make sure that I give each student 2. And now we could skip count by 2s to help us go a little faster. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. So she gave 36 pencils to her students, but the question is, how many pencils does she have left? So we want to take our total, which was 100 pencils, subtract 36 because she already gave those away. So here we have hundreds, tens, and ones, and we always start subtracting in the ones column. So we have 0 minus 6. Bigger number is on the bottom, big bottom regroup. Come to the tens column. We don't have any tens, so we need to go the whole way to the hundreds column. We had one hundreds block, but we're going to break that hundreds block into 10 tens, but that didn't help us. So we're actually going to take another one of those tens, and we're going to break it apart into 10 little ones. So 10 minus 6 is 4, and then we have 9 minus 3, bigger numbers on top. 9 minus 3 is 6. So she has 64 pencils left. So we want to go to number 8 and write 64 pencils. This is the second page of day 5, and we're going to look at number 7. Number 7 says, how many faces does a cube have? Remember, faces are the flat surfaces of a three-dimensional shape. So you're really going to have to use your imagination here and think about a cube, or maybe you can look around your house and find a real life example of a cube. So our flat surfaces, we could touch the top, that would be 1. The bottom would be 2. The front would be 3. The back would be 4. And then we have the left side, which would be 5, and the right side, which would be 6. So there would be 6 faces on a cube. So we would go to number 7 and write 6 faces. And then we're going to look at number 10 together. Number 10 says, music class starts at 9:20 each Friday. Show how to write that time. And here they have a digital clock for you. So we want to pay attention to 9:20. So our hour is 9, and then our minutes is 20. So we would write on number 10, 9:20. There are 320 people at a Hawaiian luau. 8 people can sit at a table. How many tables need to be set up for the guests? So we want to use cubs. We want to circle our essential question. How many tables need to be set up for the guests? We want to look for our essential numbers, 320, and then we have the number word 8. And we want to look for our label, how many tables. So we know our label is going to be tables. All right, kiddos, now this one you could do a lot of different ways. You could draw a picture, you could draw a table and have 8 people sit around it and go the whole way to 320. Now that's gonna take a long time, but it's still a good strategy. So I'm gonna challenge you to try to think of it using multiplication and addition. So if I would have 10 tables, and we know that 8 people can sit at each table, 10 times 8, we know when we're multiplying with 10, we can just skip count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So we know that that would be 80. And I want you to think to yourself, is that enough? Not yet. So we know that let's try another 10 tables with 8 people sitting at each table. Skip count by tens again. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Now, let's add those numbers together and see if we're getting any closer. So if we would do 80 plus 80, 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 8 is 16. So we're at 160. So we still don't have enough tables yet. Let's try another 10 tables with 8 people sitting at each table. We know that 10 times 8 is 80. So let's add 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 8 is 14. We need to regroup. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we're at 240. So we're getting closer. Let's try another 10 tables of 8, which would give us 80 again. So let's try 240 plus 80. We have 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 8 is 12. We need to regroup. 1 plus 2 is 3. 320, and that's how many people we needed. So here we had 10 tables, plus another 10 tables, plus another 10 tables, plus another 10 tables. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 will give us 40 tables. We would need 40 tables set up for the guests.